Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Los Angeles Lakers have a game tonight, back to back, second of a back to back against the Atlanta Hawks at 7:30 p.m., 10:30 uh, Atlantic time, Eastern. I can't seem to get my mind right, but yeah, believe it or not, I did actually watch the highlights on 5 of the last games the Atlanta Hawks played. I found a way to do that. I got up at 6 this morning to do that, and they had some pretty interesting games. The last game they had against Denver was really difficult for them, but aside from that, they won 4 of their last 5. They were on a 4-game winning streak going into that Denver game. Um, they more or less played some pretty solid teams. The Toronto Raptors, they blew them out. The Heat, they won by 10 with a kind of a tough game there. It was a strong game played by both teams. They dropped 141 points on the Bulls, which was an extremely exciting basketball game. The Bulls were up by like 10 points with like 4 minutes to go and blew that lead. It was absolutely awesome. And in the Timberwolves game, before that, they got the victory against the Wolves, 117 to 104. And if I'm not mistaken, they had a big game from their role players. Yes, Garrison Matthews had 7 threes hit, 7 out of 8 for 25 points. So we got to keep an eye on Garrison Matthews. DeAndre Hunter hit the three very well, 3 of 7 in that one. Trae Young hit the three as well, 4 of 7 in that one. So they have some really good 3-point shooters on this team, sneaky good shooters, and we're gonna have to deal with those guys tonight. So that's what we want to just say off the rip. They shot 50% in that game from behind the arc. So this is a very capable 3-point shooting team. Trae Young's one of the best players in basketball, man. One of the best assist men, one of the best scorers too. He's playing great ball this season. He should be an all-star, but then again, he always gets snubbed. Just like Dame Lillard used to get early in his career. That's what ends up happening to Trae Young every year, averaging 30 and 8, and they still end up snubbing him for the All-Star games. Hopefully that doesn't happen to him this year. His team is pretty good at 18 and 16. I thought they would have a better record, to be honest with you, given how well they've been playing, but they're only 2 games above 500. And it's kind of rough on them, man. But they do have some good players that we're gonna have to keep an eye on tonight. A guy like David Roddy got 17 minutes last night and ultimately had 4 of 7 shooting, 2 of 3 from behind the arc for 10 points. And that's like the type of player that you don't want to go off tonight. So we just got to keep an eye open for some of their role players. DeAndre Hunter's been balling like crazy on their bench. He had 7 out of 14 from the field, 3 of 5 shooting. He's having a breakout year. I know it's been several years since we drafted him for them, just like we drafted several of their players on this team. But DeAndre Hunter's finally healthy, and he's playing great on both sides of the floor, just like he was drafted to be several years ago. So if anybody I'm concerned with off their bench, it would probably be DeAndre Hunter. He's just been extremely good this season for them. Onyeka Okongwu is healthy. He's been missing several games against the Lakers over the past couple years. He's always out. I think he will be available tonight. He played 24 minutes in the last one and was 4 of 6 from the field for them, 9 points, 7 rebounds. So their starting lineup is very deadly, man. Dyson Daniels, another player we drafted, he had a cold shooting night against Denver, 4 of 17, 1 of 7 from behind the arc. But he's one of the best steals man, if not the best steals man in basketball right now. He's just getting steals like some players get free throws. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous how talented he is in that area. Clint Capella's been very consistent. You got to keep an eye open for Clint Capella. He's always going to get boards on both the offensive and defensive side. And he plays with a lot of energy, and so we know Clint Capella, he's going to be hard to deal with. Zachary Richasset is finding some confidence on this team. We're going to have to keep an eye open for Zachary because Zach is a very athletic player, man. He had some plays where he was diving for a pass, an errant pass. I don't know which game it was, but he dove for an errant pass that Trae Young threw, and he looked like a wide receiver stretching all the way out to catch it. I don't know how he got to it. But this dude has some of the best reaction timing and that kind of thing that I've seen. So I'd imagine that translates to him being extremely gifted in getting 50-50 balls. So we're going to have to be quick to the pounce, quick on the bounce when this guy's on the floor. Because I'm seeing a glimpse of something that you cannot teach with him. And that's a really ridiculous athleticism that I didn't actually know was there. So he's still early in his development as a rookie, first overall pick. He doesn't have a main. He's not a go-to guy on this team as of yet. but his upside is crazy. He can shoot the three. He defends very well, and I definitely keep an eye open for him. Um, I think this is an all-star year for Jalen Johnson. I don't know if he'll actually make the all-star team, but he has been one of the best small forwards this season in all of basketball. He didn't play in the Denver Nugget game. That's probably why they lost it. He's just that talented of a player. Um, and we're just going to have to keep an eye open for him. He's really athletic. He loves to dunk the ball. He's also pretty good stealing the ball. In fact, he had 6 steals against the Toronto Raptors. Um, and you know, that's just what it really is. A plus 37, 15.6 steals. My goodness, man. So Jalen Johnson is a monster out there. And just expect for him to be explosive in the open court. Expect for him to hit his shots, mid-range, you know, three-point shots, whatever it is. He's going to be a monster for it. Looking at the stats from this Atlanta Hawks-Toronto game, Toronto shot 40% from behind the arc, 18 of 45 from behind the arc. So as we consider the three-point shot, just understand they shoot it a lot, and they are hitting it pretty much very well on this streak. Also with that game in Toronto, they forced 31 turnovers on the Toronto Raptors off of 22 steals. So that is a very key stat for that particular game. We need to understand how good this team is defensively with Dyson Daniels and all those guys. They play defense with the best of them. And so that 31 turnover might be the season high for my eyesight. I don't think I've seen anybody have that many turnovers this season. And for it to be 22 steals, it wasn't like they were just throwing the ball away. The Atlanta Hawks were taking it from them. So, yeah, keep an eye open for this team, man. Reese Shea, Jalen Johnson, Okongwu, Hunter, Garrison Matthews. They play ball, man. This team doesn't suck. Not at all. Clint Capella, of course, Trae Young, the great. We just got to keep an eye open for them. And hopefully we have the energy, man. We didn't have Anthony Davis play last night, so I would imagine he would go for this one. And we're going to need him to have a big game if we're going to beat this team. Now, of course, Max Christie came off a fantastic game last night, 28 points. He hit like 5 threes. We love what we saw from Max on the offensive end. We really needed it because some of our other guys had fallen asleep offensively. And, of course, LeBron James went for 38 points and 8 assists last night, which was really necessary for us to have won that game. He really stepped up in AD's absence and took over the Blazers last night. So, you know, hopefully he'll be able to go tonight. Obviously, it's going to be difficult. Given the fact that it's a back-to-back. But if anybody can do it, it's LeBron James, man. Playing at this level at 40 years old is pretty amazing. So the injury report is what I think is probably the most noteworthy thing of this game. And I'll tell you what's going on with the Hawks first. Bogdan Bogdanovic is a game-time decision. He's been missing a couple of games, so he'll probably try to come back against the Lakers like many do. Jalen Johnson is a game-time decision. Hopefully he doesn't play. But, you know, it's the Lakers. So Mohamed Gay is not going to be available tonight. No, he's a game-time decision. Forgive me. He is a game-time decision. I don't know if they actually use him, but, yeah, that's the thing. Larry Nance, our guy Larry, is going to miss this game. He's out with some type of hand injury. And Kobe Buffkin is out for the season with a shoulder surgery. I didn't realize it was that serious, but, yeah, he's out for the season. Trae Young's a game-time decision. He's definitely playing. Don't believe the hype. Trae Young is playing in Staples Center. There's no way he's missing this game. I would be floored if he misses this basketball game. It ain't happening. And Cody Zeller's out with personal stuff. The Lakers is what makes this interesting. Anthony Davis, a game-time decision. I expect him to play since he didn't last night. Jalen Hood-Schifino is a game-time decision. Hopefully this means we'll actually utilize him because I do think he can help us with his passing abilities, I keep on saying over and over again. Jared Vanderbilt, of course, is still out to the end of the month. Gabe Vincent is a game-time decision. He's been missing for the last 2 games. I think we're being cautious with that oblique injury. I don't know if he'll go tonight or not. But Christian Wood is a game-time decision for this basketball game after missing almost a year. He is the main course of interest in regards to the injury report because you look up and realize we finally have him back ready to go. So I don't know if that means he actually gets on the floor, but Christian Wood is back, man. So we're going to definitely have some size that we haven't had in a while. He has played with Dodo in Dallas, so they have some synergy, ready to work with one another, and I don't doubt that him coming back probably has something to do with us acquiring Dodo. I think, you know, it brings a certain level of interest when you know it's one of your old guys is back, and you know, I think Vanderbilt's right around the corner as well. So we could be potentially a very healthy basketball team for the first time in over a year by the end of this month, which is very exciting. Knock on wood that no more injuries happen that send us in a different direction. But we can finally see how big our team is, which is, I think, what's people are not really probably taking into account. This is the Lakers when they're fully healthy, when you have Wood, now that we've brought in Dodo, obviously with the two centers that we have that have been playing the backup role, who played really well last night, by the way. And Bron and AD and these guys, man, we're huge. We're a very big basketball team. That's what it really comes down to. So I'm excited about the idea of size. Rui Hachimura, Jackson Hayes, who I was talking about, and Christian Koloko. They really played a fantastic game last night. 18 minutes apiece, both of them, and they just really helped us, man. Koloko had 8 points, 8 rebounds in 18 minutes. You gotta love that. Jackson Hayes had 4 points, 6 rebounds. So we love how they crashed the glass, and they played some good rim protection out there for the most part. If the referees didn't rescind that Jackson Hayes block, he would have had 2 on the night there. So I really like what I'm seeing from our guys, man. You think about Dalton Knecht, he's been struggling, but he caters to the size since he's a big guy himself with some length and height. Cam Reddish is a big shooting guard. So, we have bigger guys just up and down the roster. Max Christie and his length and height. Austin Reeves is a big guard. So, we're a huge team when we get everybody back, man. Christian Wood coming back. Vanderbilt hopefully coming back. We're going to be big. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah, man, I'm excited about the addition of Dorian Finney-Smith. He's not really a stats guy, and we already have that worked into our mind right now. But he's definitely somebody who's going to help our basketball team defensively, guarding all types of people. And I would not be surprised to see him guarding Jalen Johnson tonight, maybe even be put on Trae Young, since he does guard guards at times. So this is a real nice defensive weapon to have, and hopefully he can start getting more comfortable in our offense, getting his corner shots off, and just continuing to crash the glass on offensive rebounding situations like we saw him do in that first game off an air ball where he dunked the ball. Just happened to be in the right place at the right time. These are the type of things you can count on from Dorian Finney-Smith. So, yeah, man, we kind of had a little bit of a hiccup with that Cleveland game, but, ultimately we've been winning some games, beat the Kings a bunch of times, beat the Warriors on Christmas Day, beat the Memphis Grizzlies. We've been winning some games, but the thing that stands out, which is concerning in regards to tonight, is how the Lakers have ultimately played against the Eastern Conference this season. When you look at some of these losses that we've taken on, I see a lot of losses to Eastern Conference teams. That's what I want to tell people. We've already lost to the Hawks once. We lost to the Magic. We lost to the Heat. We lost to the Detroit Pistons twice. Lost to Cleveland twice. We are not doing well against the Eastern Conference. And I don't think anybody's really noticing that. Not for what it is, but that's exactly what it is. We've had some wins. We beat the Philadelphia 76ers, We've had some wins against the East, but I think at this point, it may start becoming a thing. If we lose a game like tonight, then it's all right, what's up? Why are we not being able to win these interconference matchups against playoff teams in the East? So we still have a lot of Eastern teams to play, but we've also had a strong handful of them, and we ain't been winning that much. But we have been taking care of games we're supposed to take care of against teams like the Blazers and like I said, the Kings. We've been winning those games, and it's kept us in a good space from which to be proud of our record. So at 19-14, first in our division, so we definitely got to be proud of the fact that we're first in the division right now. I think we're in 6th place overall with a chance to get into 4th and 5th place tonight or something like that. So this is a big game. We gotta start clamping down on Eastern Conference matchups, man. We can't keep hemorrhaging against the easy East. That's what it really comes down to. And I know these teams are good. Some of them match up well against us, but I still think at the end of the day, we're a Western Conference team. We shouldn't be getting beat up by the East like that. We really shouldn't. So that's something that we need to start thinking about here. We got to get this victory tonight for the sake of that alone. And this is not an easy team, man. They have won some games where, like I said, the Chicago game is a prime example. They had 50 points in the fourth quarter. 50 as a unit, and if I'm not mistaken, they scored a lot at the beginning of that game too, and ended up giving some back. So just to come around and win it again at the end. The Atlanta Hawks are a streaky team. They play good defense. They have extreme all-star level talent. They have a good bench unit, and they're well coached, man. So we need to be aware of how much they can do to hurt us tonight, and not take them for granted at all, since they've already beaten us in a close game earlier last month. So yeah, man, that's what it is, you know. Jalen Johnson, looking at the Heat game, he had 28 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 blocks on a plus 18. Trae Young with 15 assists, 11 points in that game. You know what I'm saying? DeAndre Hunter had a big game there, 4-7 from behind the arc, 8 of 14 from the field for 26 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Garrison Matthews had a big game in that one as well, 18 points on 4-7 shooting from behind the arc, 5 of 8 from the field. So Garrison Matthews is in a real rhythm right now. That's what needs to be understood. That role player is shooting lights out, and we better have him circled as a guy to guard tonight. Don't look at him as the regular Garrison Matthews. He's been on fire, and we need to be ready for that, because they're utilizing him in the absence of Bogdanovich. Now, if Bogdanovich plays, I think Garrison's minutes goes down some, but they may still check him in for how hot he's been, and that could prove to be a problem for us. Know that they're going to shoot a lot of threes, man. Even against the Denver Nuggets, they shot 46 threes. So they've been up in their three-point shot diet as of late, and like I said, Jalen Johnson not playing that game, I think ultimately was the difference there. So yeah, man, we got work to do. The Atlanta Hawks are not a pushover by any stretch of the imagination. This is not Portland, whom we saw last night and were able to get away with not playing our greatest ball against. We need more from our role players scoring the ball than we got last night if we're going to beat this high-scoring, well-defensive-oiled Atlanta Hawks team, which I don't think is their record at all. I think they're better than their record, and we had better take them seriously. They're in the beginning of a Western Conference road trip where they lost the first game, so I don't think they want to go down the path of losing a lot in the Western Conference trip. That, man, they got a lot of Western Conference teams to see. As I look at their schedule, they got the Clippers after us, Utah, Phoenix, and then they go back home after that road trip to play Houston and then Phoenix again. So it's all West Coast for them for the first half of the month of January. And you know, they're going to want this one. They're going to want this one bad, man. And this is the beginning of a back-to-back for them. They will be in Inglewood tomorrow to play the Clippers at 7:30. So, yeah, man, that's what's going on with the Hawks. We got business to take care of. Hopefully our guys are getting some rest in the daytime and putting themselves in a position to be ready for the night. Because if they're not ready to run, if LeBron extended all of that energy and doesn't have any tonight, because he did exert quite a bit last night, this could be a problem, because Atlanta's not going for that. I can tell you right now. Trae Young is going to have a big game, so we got to withstand that. And like I said, he's a game-time decision, but I expect for him to play. So that's really what it is, man. Welcome back, Christian Wood. One way or another, whether he's going to play tonight or not, we know he's extremely close if he's a game-time decision tonight. So we're definitely happy to have him back. Him and Anthony Davis had good synergy last year, rebounding the ball together. With the length that they provided, it was really good. And now that we have Jackson Hayes and Koloko down there, we're really capable of throwing some stuff at people defensively and offensively and whatever we need from the center position. So for the first time, we have some real center depth out there, which is really interesting. Probably send Koloko back to the G League so we don't utilize all 50 of his games, especially now that we're getting our centers back. I see him probably going back down to the G League, but he deserves to be up here, especially given the way he's been playing. So I think that's more so by necessity, not necessarily in looking at how he's been playing and sending him down there. So yeah, man, that's really what's up. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Atlanta Hawks are 7:30 tonight, man. Second of a back-to-back, man. Be there, be square. BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching. Oh, one more thing. The Lakers are going to be wearing their road uniforms tonight. Their road purples, the ones that I can't stand. I don't like those jerseys at all. We're wearing those at home, and the Atlanta Hawks are wearing their home whites on our floor. So that is what I wanted to say. I always want to give y'all that information. And I think I've exhausted all I want to say in this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out.